Namaste and a very good evening to all of you present here. We begin this session with an invocation. We extend a very warm and soulful greetings to all the august audience present here and also online. On today's auspicious occasion of 24th April, the mother's final arrival day to Pondicherry. Message for today: the grace and protection are always with you. When in any inner or outer difficulty or trouble, do not allow it to oppress you. Take refuge with the divine force that protects. If you do that always with faith and sincerity, you will find something opening in you, which will always remain calm and peaceful in spite of all superficial disturbances, the mother. Today, we have with us Dr. Nagendra from Sakshi to give a talk on the mother within us. Before that, the significance of 24th April, the mother's final arrival day to Pondicherry. The mother, born in Paris as Mira Alpha, February 1878, is the spiritual collaborator along with Sri Aurobindo and also the founder of Sri Aurobindo Ashram, Puducherry. The mother first arrived in Pondicherry on 29th March 1914, stayed there for a year. The monthly magazine Arya was started then, which contains the major writings of Sri Aurobindo like The Synthesis of Yoga, The Life Divine, Secret of Veda, and others. But she had to return back to France due to the outbreak of the First World War. The mother, increase audio. The mother finally arrived again after 6 years to Pondicherry on 24th April 1920 and has remained permanently there. She said, "My return to Pondicherry was the tangible sign of the sure the adverse forces. The mother of the worlds has installed herself here. It was at this moment that the foundation of Sri Aurobindo Ashram was laid, even though it was not consciously planned or discussed." Some devotee has asked, "Sweet mother, how should I prepare myself for the April 24th darshan?" Look attentively into yourself to find out what for you is the most important thing, the thing you feel that you couldn't do without. It is an interesting discovery. Sri Aurobindo Complex Trust, JP Nagar, Bangalore, is working under the able guidance of Sri Aurobindo Society, Puducherry, to make people aware of the integral yoga of Sri Aurobindo and the mother. We are conducting a plethora of activities here. One can subscribe to become a member of Sri Puducherry to know more about Sri Aurobindo and the mother. The membership forms are available here at the reception, and every member will get monthly a very beautiful All India magazine like this, published by Sri Aurobindo Society, Puducherry, replete with the mantric words of Sri Aurobindo and the mother. It's available in 7 Indian languages at a nominal fee of rupees 200 only for a year. Sri Aurobindo Complex Trust also houses Mirambika School for New Age, a full-fledged CBSE school, a magnificent meditation hall with Sri Aurobindo's sacred relics, a well-stocked library, an audio-visual hall for workshops, Sri Ranga, a beautiful open-air theater for regular school functions, a book section where Sri Aurobindo Ashram books and products are made available. The managing trustee of Sri Aurobindo Complex Trust is Dr. Ajit Sabnis, also the chairman of Mirambika School for New Age, executive and core committee member, Sri Aurobindo Society, Puducherry. Sri Aurobindo Society State Committee, Karnataka is also housed here, which is the Karnataka State headquarters with about 33 active Sri Aurobindo Society branches and centers in Karnataka. Now, I welcome Dr. Nagendra once again. Dr. Nagendra is a medical doctor with many years of experience in medical field, academics, and research. He has worked in well-known and prestigious institutes, has conducted research work in US, Europe, Asian countries like Malaysia, Philippines, etc. He is also a Reiki master and practitioner. He has studied Vedas under Dr. Ariel Kashyap of Sakshi, that is Sri Aurobindo Kapali Shastri Institute of Vedic Sciences, located at Jayanagar, Bangalore. Also working on natural farming techniques, chemical-free farm products. His area of interest is complete to applied knowledge. I request all the participants here to keep their mobiles in silent mode. Dr. Nagendra ji, the floor is yours. Thank you.
So today we are trying to go inside. It's not trying to know, it is trying to experience. So what? The mother and within us. When I say us, it is not a plural, it is a self in a multiple layers. Just like Theo yo naha prachodayat. Naha is us, all. Naha is coming together. So that is what we are trying to do. So my request is, rather than trying to listen, understand, and try to analyze, let us straight away get into insight and see if we can get an experience of that directly. I'll try my best not to use my intelligence to deliver the speech. I consciously want to switch off my intelligence, allow the mother to directly come down, and then I become an instrument so that she delivers what she wants to say. This has been all our experiences, but we have to do that consciously, and then every time, every moment. So this is a small exercise. Let us try to do that rather than using the human mind with a limited intellectual capacity and try to analyze and then see if it is useful or not. Can I do this or not? Whether it is a limitation, all those things will keep it apart. It is flowing, comes out, that you take it the way it comes in. The inner self knows what it is. It will process and then it will manifest out. So this is the whole idea of the mother within us. To start with, the moment we say it is the mother within me or us, intellectually and as a concept, I know that it's just the mother, just like Purusha manifesting his Prakriti, Sri Aurobindo and the mother coming out, Satyam, Ritam, that is manifesting. But these are just words if I don't live that. So it can become just words because we are in this environment where we constantly hear these words. So there is a very natural tendency that we get used to it and then we get carried away that I know these things. Or we try to speak that language. Just like a baby at home speaks the language of the house, we in this group, definitely a spiritual group, we tend to speak these words and then start imagining that I'm getting spiritual. So this is not about words. It is not about the articulation that's coming out. It is from deep within what it is happening. The mother makes one thing very clear. Most of us who are inclined to this spiritual kind of a journey, definitely the group which has joined today, if you are asked, these are the words of the mother, if it is asked, why do you work? So immediately the answer is, yes, it's a requirement. I need to earn, there is a family, I need to feed, it's a livelihood, and then it goes on. Now then, why spirituality? The answer is, okay, a stress dot going out, so I need something rest. I know there is something deep within, so I'm going towards that. It relieves me out of stress, and then it gives some sense of a peace, and then I feel good. That's why I need this spirituality, something to do with the spirit. So this is a very common thing, which more or less it's roughly acceptable. If we take it as what outside the work or the life we live as a practical life, and then inside as something which is a inner life or a spiritual life. This has been a very common norm. But mother starts from here. She says, if this is the attitude, then we don't know either of that. We don't know what is life going outside or where I'm heading to. It sounds a bit something surprising or shocking, but the work I'm doing outside is not for livelihood. The spirituality is not to attain peace. The work I'm trying to do is, it is something manifesting, it's coming out. And then the background is the spirit. So how do we elaborate this? So first of all, there is nothing called two lives, that's outer and inner. We need to we know this, but very, very difficult for us to assimilate that because of a small curtain, what is called as our mind or the intellect or the human mind. It's continuously, it forms a barrier between this outer, not the physical body. I'm definitely sure that we are all clear that I'm not the physical body. To some extent, I'm not the vital body, the energy where it goes on. So because the body works with the energy within or the emotions with that, I'm not that. But we are a vitalized body with the mental body. That's what in evolution we are. That is a mind in a vitalized body. That's a matter with the energy. That's a vital energy that's getting vitalized body. And then we have the mental body on this. But this has got a limitation of dividing. And it is also a strength that it has got the capacity to divide. The reason, it has to work in that division. It is just like an instrument, a scissor, or for a stethoscope for a doctor. So you need an instrument to receive, sense, or to work the motor activity. For that purpose, the body, physical body, the prana or the vital body, mind, mental body, it's a requirement as an instrument to do that. But what has happened now is we are identifying with this predominantly as a physical body, but to some extent who have gone inner journey, even though we say that we don't identify, but all our thoughts revolves around this. First, we should try to take out this veil between the spiritual life and the practical life. It will happen sooner or later, but there should be conscious effort that every activity that is being done is a spiritual activity. What is spiritual? Something to do with the spirit. And where is the spirit? That's within me. Or you can say it as a Chaitana. Where it is? It's everywhere. The Chaitanya. Or the Satchidananda. The Supreme Divine manifesting as Satchidananda. Satchidananda, it's everywhere. So when I work, it is actually, I'm using these instruments and then it goes on to the practical work. When I go spiritually inside, so that means I'm not getting disconnected with this physical world. I go there and get those experiences, bring it back, and then start working again with that background of spirituality. This is the whole idea of integral yoga. And to me, this is what the mother represents. So Sri Aurobindo very clearly says, it is through the mother I'm trying to manifest. What does it mean? Every action that goes on or every activity I do is nothing but the mother. And then this activity is always with the background of the Purusha, what we call it as, in our understanding, it is Sri Aurobindo himself. In fact, these are not two. That is Sri Aurobindo and mother. It was never two. Just like the Sat and Chit, Purusha and Prakriti, or Satyam and Dhrutam. This is one that is getting itself manifested. It is not the one getting manifested. The one itself is the manifestation. So when I say the spiritual thoughts, it comes out in the form of an action. So every action I do becomes a spiritual activity. If the spiritual is the word is not, I'm not able to conceive well, you can just do it as it is a divine work. If I say that is towards the divine, then my life and every activity that I do, it becomes life divine. The idea of identifying myself as a mother or mother within me is first to break this barrier of this two. The moment I take it into two, that is an activity of division. Maybe in terms of a political border or religion or a caste or gender, or in terms of I'm spiritually higher or somebody is lower, or I'm good, I'm bad. Any kind of division that brings within me and tries to make it into two, then inside me, the growth is not yet to that level. That is at least the clarity to that extent we should bring in. That doesn't mean that whatever outside is good and everything is as such is divine. No, it is the need. That's how it goes on. But when I look at it, I should not have that idea of the idea is to go spiritual is the oneness, but the action will go with wherever that is depending on the situation or depending on what to be done. That is called as the idea of discrimination. That is in the Veda, it is called Dakshina. Dakshina today has become something like giving money to the Purohits. Dakshina is the discriminatory power. That is Dakshina Murti is like most widely worshipped God. Dakshina means this discriminatory power what to be done. So this is the extent to start with. So if I don't do this, then all those next steps becomes continuous with the division. Then I say, wherever that is required, I'll use that as a divine. This is a divine work. Going to temple is divine work. Coming to sack, sitting here for 1 hour, it becomes divine work. Then after that, I go out and then I starting about the traffic. This is the shouting that we do. And then we blame that somebody else is doing it. So this goes on. I'm not trying to say that there is nothing wrong there, but I put it as something, spiritual life or the peace I get inside this hall. Then the moment I go out, I get disturbed. Then I'm not yet grown to that level where I can touch that divine and then bring it down. So this is a clear indicator, just like our Mars card. Every time I feel that there is something dividing or something make me bothered, so then it means that I need to go back, work, and then come back. So then she says, it is not about what we do. It is not the action that is being done. It is how do we do it? How is not the procedure? How is the background with which I'm doing? So the moment I take it as a divine work, it is doing for the divine, then everything seems to go so seamlessly, smoothly, without any hurdle. It says we have seen in most of the difficult work, not the general work, the general activity we do, there are a lot of hurdles. Whenever we feel that something very difficult, like constructing a house or doing a daughter's marriage, these are actually it's a laborious work. But you see that this goes so seamlessly, smoothly, and people will come and help, and this goes on, and completely it is going so seamlessly compared to any Monday morning, we get up and then try to go to office, there are hundreds of problems. Geyser not working and there is no water. So why is that so? Because there, when it is something difficult, I am with the divine mother and saying, asking every time, Mother, please help me to go through this. I don't want any problems. So you can see, it is not what you are doing, it's how you are doing. Say that all everything is surrendered to you. You please take care of this. When I say mother, it's not just Sri Aurobindo Ashram's mother. It's a mother, the supreme mother, and my own biological mother, or the divinity everywhere, even the mother Aditi. Aditi is the infinite mother. So whomever I feel as that inside me, which gives that experience and then confidence of that infinity, that is the mother. In fact, the mother is the consciousness itself. Here we see here, you want your even physical 5 sense organs to have a look at it, I am here. Because I stand in front of a mirror, I am not able to appreciate that. She is just a mirror that has come down to have a look at. So this is what we are trying to do. The moment you start, today is Monday morning. How was my Monday morning? How did I go to my office? How did I cook? Was I conscious about what I'm doing? It was Sunday. I was so relaxed and then watching a movie or something, no work, it's relaxed. Did I ever get a chance to or the divine? No. So Monday morning, I get up, immediately the alarm rings and then you run, start jumping. It is not that every time you say mother, mother, mother. No. Every activity I'm doing, it is that. So when mother says, it is divinizing to the last cell in my body, it is not a biological cell. Cell is a structural and functional unit. By itself, it can do every work. A cell in my body is structurally, it is independent, one cell. And functionally, as an action, it can do all the functions of what a human body can do. So in fact, every individual is made up of two half cells from our parents. That is, I'm a single cell when I started my journey. A cell in my mother's womb. When it multiplied, it grows. So it is so easy for me, instead of making every cell divinizing, I go to the source that I am nothing but one cell. That is half from my father, half from my mother. So then it is so easy to go. Once that is divinized, that is, I go to the source. Source is that womb. Womb, from where, that is the source. For the physical body, this is the source. And for me, as a complete manifested nature, it is my source. If you go there, then every cell becomes divinized. So this is how every action becomes divinized. So then what happens with this? Then we go towards a perfection. So what is perfection? So for us, perfection is 100 out of 100. That is faultless, no error, zero error. That's what is a quality parameter today. If I say quality or ISO 2001, we say that very clearly quality is something zero error, or it is acceptable within that range. We give 0.5% or 1%, whatever. But is that the perfection? Do we know that it's a perfection? No. The perfection is, it's a balance between this, either side of it. First of all, it's a journey. It's not a destination. And then that perfection is balancing these two. What? The vidya, avidya, jnana, ajnana. Then the purusha, prakriti. I know that what is the source. I know what to be done. Now I stand in between. So with that background of what the supreme is, all the actions are it is. So this is the perfect balance that is being built. This is the perfection. It has got nothing to do with you're doing it right. You're getting 100 out of 100. It has got nothing to do with the marks or the success or the money that is gained. It is a balance with which I'm trying to lead a life. So why is it important? The moment it is a balance, then I'm able to be always connected, and then my action becomes more creative, the bigger clarity. This clarity is called as a divine mind, as Indra. Indra, what we call it as Indra, as the one who gives us the knowledge and protect us against all these evil forces, as Vritra, Vala, who is blocking our knowledge. So this is what is the action from the human mind. That is the faculty, is the quality, is a division. From there I elevate the divine mind as Indra. Indra, because he is the Lord of Indriyas, sense organs. That is the divine mind. Then I get a full clarity on what it is going on. Through that divine mind, I'm able to easily control this human mental body, vital body, and the physical body. So I'm using the instrument as an instrument once I know who owns it. If not, the instrument by itself becomes the doer, or we assume that, and then it will do whatever it wants according to its requirement, because physical body has got its own requirements. The vital and emotional body has got its own requirements. The mental body, the mind, the intelligence, the rational mind, the analytical mind, it has got its own requirements. But it doesn't know that it's not the final. Because the quality of that is to fulfill that. But once you go above that, that is what is called as a super mind. So today it's very common. Somebody, even in cricket, somebody does an extraordinary catch, or you say that 20 balls, 50 runs. Immediately the commentator says it's a superhuman, or the Superman, or the Spider-Man. The catch is like a Spider-Man, the Superman. What do we mean by that? We know that super is something above. The same vocabulary has been used by Sri Aurobindo about 130, 140 years back when he says super mind. And we are just trying to imitate, or we are trying to become used to that. And most of the movies today we see, it may be a South Indian movie or a North Indian, that's a Bollywood or Hollywood. Every movie tries to say that the human can grow beyond his potential and do everything, whatever it is. It may sound completely foolish and idiotic, but the imagination is such that at some day we are able to do this. This is beyond the potential, is going above, that is the super. And there are movies, some people, we even in childhood have seen Superman. So even his costume is totally different, just to differentiate. The costume is so weird, he cannot come out and walk. So that is a Superman. So why it is super? Because it is gone beyond this limitation of this human mind. That is possible. Every time we have seen that, but I'm not able to get it 100% convinced that yes, this is how it is. And then to do this, there are many techniques. One of them is meditation. So we are so fond of doing meditation. And then what happens with the meditation? I do meditation and I get some kind of a sense that I'm connected with that and try to do that. The mother says meditation is not required. So if you say it as a without context, if you say meditation is not required, then somebody will say, okay, then I'll not meditate. What she means by meditation is the meditation, what we are talking is, if we are not able to work consciously, very clearly, if we are not able to work consciously, then what we have to do is we need to meditate, we need to do meditation, sit in a place, meditate, and then try to go ahead in that direction. So the idea is not to sit and meditate or go and then get into the trance. If I'm not able to do my work consciously, that's where we started, going with that spiritual background, going and then doing this work. If I'm not able to do this, if I'm able to do that spontaneously, some people will do that. So every action that is done is nothing to do with their personal gain. It is so natural it comes. And you ask them to, no, you go sit there, meditate, only then you are spiritual. This sounds so foolish to them. It's funny for them. For something like small children, for them there is nothing. It's like a clean slate. Now you ask them, for example, a 5-year-old child, ask them, you sit and meditate. Why? Then you will know what is God. Just, I can easily directly connect. Even the vocabulary they use is so natural. They say that, what is God? I can easily feel what is God. No, what you are feeling is not wrong. Then it is your ego. You are arrogant. You don't come to temple. You don't go to church. No, you have to pray. You have to bow down. And it says, okay, then it's not whatever I felt, it's wrong. God must be outside. Then the baby tries to go out and see. Then it realizes it's completely false. Because the parents, what they did, they went out, they sell out some money and then do some shopping. And then in the temple or church or wherever it is, they do some transaction, say that I give this, you give me this. It's a business transaction. So then they realize, okay, this is the one what they call spirituality. I do it in my work. I trade with my money. Then that's a spiritual. Then we say, no. Now you go back, then you know that's not the thing. There is so much of confusion the way we actually look at life. And then we ask our children to do this. If I am not able to work consciously is what? Maybe walking, maybe driving or cooking or even taking bath. Wherever I am, the consciously, every moment, like the mother has given the message, it's on the Sri Aurobindo's, the last message on the, you can see in the ashram also, that's written, where you should not lose the contact with this even for a moment. Even for a moment, I should not lose this contact with Sri Aurobindo. So that is what is my aim. When she says Sri Aurobindo, that doesn't mean the Sri Aurobindo with a beard and then with a white dress or anything. So these are the physical aspect of that. So if I try to meditate on that, there is nothing wrong. But what we are saying is to go beyond. That's not wrong or right. It's not about right or wrong. It is about, am I able to see the supreme through this? I'm able to see the nature manifestation through the mother. Then it is immaterial. Whether it is the mother of Sri Aurobindo Ashram or mother of Ramakrishna Ashram, that doesn't make any difference. It is the mother as a consciousness I'm able to get that. So when that is being done, then we know that what is meditation. Otherwise, we sit in the meditation, to the max, we may try to get some concentration. That is dharana, not dhyana. I'm able to concentrate on something, or we may do japa, like Rama, 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 Rama. After a few seconds, it becomes mechanical, because that's a faculty of the mind. You are trying to meditate through your mind. Mind cannot, it is not meant to do that. You are trying to use a blade and trying to stitch. What will happen? Invariably, it will cut. Knife is to cut, and to stitch, you need a needle. So now you are using a different instrument. It's not lower or higher. You are using an instrument which is not meant for it. So what is that you are trying to do in meditate? You try to take out that mental body completely, the faculty of that. You try to fix your physical body so that it doesn't move. That is asana siddhi. Then you try to control your prana through the breath. Breathing is a small aspect of prana, and then prana is the divine force or the energy, which is representation of this chit shakti, the consciousness force itself. Now I am balancing these two, and there is a mental body which is a reflection of the ananda itself in the lower form. That's where we actually feel the happiness. Now I try to stabilize these three and keep it in harmony, where there has been always in tussle. There is every turbulence we find is because of the physical, vital, mental body. It is not aligned. It is not harmonized. Now I try to bring it these through. That is one of the, in Ashtanga Yoga, that is one of the practice. Now I try to do this. The moment I go above this, that becomes a state of meditation. Now I get a trick, how to go above that. So this is the background with which I know, and then I come out of it, and then continuously I be in that state, use all these three faculties for all my actions. So this is how it becomes. The moment I touch there, then I know this all the further manifestation, then I get the full control of that. Then I become the Lord of that. So that is, I am with Mother, and then action of all the actions that is done through this above the mind. Today we may call it as a super mind because we are very familiar with that word. At least those who are read Sri Aurobindo, it's a very familiar word, super mind. So why it is super mind? Just for our mind to understand that it is above the mind. Otherwise, it is the same. It is one. It is not even linear. The moment I try to put into word, there is a distortion. Because that is infinite, I try to bring it to finite. Anything I try to bring it to finite, it's a distortion. I'm making it inferior. But for the sake of understanding, I should have some words, some vocabulary, so that it can touch. So if you try to hear that word and try to understand with your mental or the intellectual capacity, then you will understand the way you want it. Instead, you stop that, and then I have intent when I say super mind, and you go to that, you stop your thinking mind, and then just wait for my intent to go there. Then the self within you will catch what I'm trying to tell. Then this sound becomes soundless. Then we both become speechless. So then there is no need to talk. Then there is no need to actually explain. Then there is no need to convince. Then they need to give an example. As long as we are in this plane, we should do all these things. And then with all these circles, we'll not be able to get it because we are still trying to pull it down and down and down. So instead, we have to just leave it and then go above. So try to get the intent with this that's going on, where I'm trying to bring in, or my voice is coming from the source of my voice, and then go, and then source of your hearing, that is where, that is a hearing, the ear of the hearing, not just the ear that goes, who hears, that is in the Kena Upanishad, it explains who is hearing in this, the sight of the seeing, who is smelling in this. So that is how it goes on. And this has been put systematically in our Shastra, like it may be Veda mantras or Upanishads. You can either go in that way, or you can use your Ashtanga yoga or any other yogas, or you can just go with a complete surrender to the Mother and Sri Aurobindo or whoever it is representing the Supreme, and then go there. Ultimately, you should know all these are leading to that higher self, the self within, and connecting with the higher self, which is the continuation of continuously. So this is how the meditation should be done. So if we know that why I am meditating, then I will know that meditation is useful. Otherwise, it becomes, oh, morning I sit for 10 minutes, I feel very relaxed. You come out of it immediately, you'll see that there is no gas in the cylinder. Then you go panic. What happened to all the meditation? You switch on, it's not working. So what is happening with the meditation is you cut off, you switch off from this to that, that's a chaos. Then I get a illusion that I'm in the spiritual life, which is another kind of something like a nasha. they do all with this cannabis or even drugs. Putting it is something, and then you feel the kick and then you enjoy. The same thing happens with you go to satsang and then something is music is going on, you feel that you carried away, and then for half an hour you see you forget everything and come back at the same problems. That's not the purpose. That's not nothing to do with spirituality. And in fact, spirituality also has got nothing to do with being good, ethical, moral. There is a requirement that I should be moral and ethical to go in this path, but being good, being moral, being ethical is not spiritual. It is only an aspect of that. So that is the first step. Through that, you go to find out the spirit or the self. So this is the mother we are talking about. So then today is a darshan day. What happens with this? When I try to do this, then I get the darshana. This is such a special day. So what is that darshana? In words of mother, so beautifully put, the darshana is the disciple experiences. The disciple is, we are the disciples, experiences the inner growth and sadhana of the guru. Then I have a guru. Guru is not necessarily a person. It may be a piece of paper or today's message or a book or even an idol. So there is an inner growth and sadhana of the guru. Now the disciple, there's a two. There is a disciple and guru. Disciple experiences, he is experiencing. This is guru, this disciple is experience. There are multiple facets of the guru which has got with the sadhana, and then it is projecting out. Now the disciple comes, and one of the aspect, this disciple experiences the inner growth and sadhana of the guru and tries to practice at least one of them in life. So these multifacets, now he tries to take one of the aspects, one, not necessarily only one, depending on the capacity. The disciple takes to one of them into that aspect of the guru and then practice it in life. So this we do whenever we go to the temple. And then we join two hands together, or even when we greet someone, we say Namaste, Namaha, Iti is what? There is something, the Shakti here as an idol or something coming me, and this is myself, and then these two are coming together, and then this consciousness is meeting the consciousness. Because this consciousness is also higher, the idol, the murti where in the temple, that is also higher. We bring these two together and I get the darshana. Otherwise in the temple, it's put as darshan is like an arrow mark. You go there, you don't get it. And you try to jump, or you put something into the kundi. That is not the actual darshana. That is not something not to be done. The purpose is there is a divinity in the form of idol, because the whole energy is concentrated there. It has got its own, that every temple or a church or the mosque that is being put, whether it is done knowingly, unknowingly, or even encroachment, there is a divine message why that should be placed there. It may look, for me, it looks like something they're trying to encroach or trying to put something into the community. It may look like, but try to make your own house as a temple. Try if that is possible. So now what happens when I go to the temple? I look for the darshana. They ask if darshan is done. Then I say, yes, it's very beautiful. Darshan for the physical eyes. Darshan for the emotion. Darshan for the intellectual mind. I saw that. I saw the feet. I saw the hands. I saw the smiling face. This is to that. Now what is actually darshan? I saw mother. Physically, many people have seen in ashrama. Did everybody got the darshan? No. Who was actually doing darshan? The mother was doing actually darshan. She was coming out. She was looking into each of this person. And then with a glance of it, she was able to do. That is the darshan, not the disciple doing the darshan. The mother actually trying to give the darshana. That's why she was so clear to everyone. When I am standing out, everybody stand quiet. I will try to put that in you. I know that you are still not ready. I know that is mother, that is giving, completely giving to you. A mother is always meant to give. It's a synonym. The mother means giving. Giving her own life, her own blood in form of milk, or it may be in the womb. She bleeds. There's a very high chance. I've seen that there is a baby birth. there is a highest probability of a mother death. That is the pain with which we come out. We as a baby comes out and she's so happy to do that. That is the mother. This all the pain she holds and then she gives the joy. This is, if I become mother, can I get this pain for myself and give the joy outside? This is the mother I'm talking. This is the consciousness with which we are growing. So now what happens with this is the darshana is today, am I able to get only one aspect? The message that is given, a single word may be something good enough for me. The whole paragraph, there are 2 paragraphs. If you read totally the complete one, it may sound like, okay, I know this. Take any one word or one line and try to see if I'm able to practice in my life. It's not knowing. So that becomes darshana. Then this day becomes a darshana day. Then the disciple going to the guru, then the sadhana, and then the aspects of that consciousness I take in and then I walk. So every time you do this, the darshana becomes really the darshana. So what is this then we are all talking about? So that is knowing is one aspect. And then that knowing, today we are calling it as education. So that is going to the school has become an education. Inside we all know that what we are doing in school in the name of educational institutions, is it right or wrong? That's a debatable. But inside me, I know that it is only for something to outside to fulfill the necessity of the outside world. So then what is this actually the education we should be looking at? In the same way, we start with, it is not what we do, it is how we do. Instead of saying that Macaulay destroyed the whole Indian system or anything, before that it was permanent, it was so beautiful. Do you think so? During Ramayana and Mahabharata time, it was only Gurukula. Duryodhana was in Gurukula. Why did there a Kurukshetra? It was a world war, the biggest world war. What had happened there? That's got nothing to do with the kind of teaching. It is what is actually getting in. The moment today we are seeing that there are so many Gurukulas. What are they trying to do? Take out few of these topics. The same structure is same. The building design may be something different. And then the costume of the teachers may be something different. The vocabulary used may be something different. Otherwise, it's the same step by step. You take one book and then try to see what it is. Instead of a textbook, you call it as a Shastra. And when you come out, what do? You worry about your livelihood. So this is what has become education. You cannot bring that Gurukula directly, but what the mother is trying to tell about education is, the education should be to build that consciousness within. Will that not happen in this regular school today, what we are doing? Is it not possible? If all our teachers, all the mothers and each one of us at home, if we become conscious about what we are doing, why do we need to change the system itself? We become conscious, allow the child to naturally grow into that consciousness level. This is an experiment mother did in the schools she started, because initially it was the children were not allowed in the ashram or in this premises. That was one of the norm. So that it becomes difficult. Two kinds of catering the needs of the two is totally different. So it was consciously decided not to include, but because the people coming into Rovel or ashram, they were like married people with kids, and you cannot keep them out. So that should be going to the schools. Now they went into, it was not a planned one, but the divinity had a different plan. So there is an experiment that's already available. And then what is happening with this education? The goal of life becomes more clear. What is that goal of life? That is the perfection. This perfection is not for an individual. This is for the community, for the nation. And then this perfection is about all the universe. And it starts only with the individual. This is what all our rishis did. They didn't want to do a social reform and change everybody become rishi. That was not the idea. Say that one of them, they go to the highest level, and then in that state of the tapas, they get the mantras and they completely, in today's words, it is a downloading that. So bring it down to the physical expression as a mantra in that form of a chandas. So this is what is required today. We go there and bring it down and become useful. So now this education is not just about the consciousness. Another beautiful way of putting education is all the pain, the sufferings, the problems, failures, which we don't want are the fine instruments of education. We only learn during these moments of pain, sufferings, problems, failures. These are the fine instruments. It is fine tuning. It is educating me, not the joy, not the celebration, not the happiness, not the success. That's not. It is a joy form of it. It's ananda form it. But the education form is through that pain, suffering, which I don't want. But in another context, it is beautifully explained. When this Supreme was trying to manifest itself, it programmed that in future, I may lose this contact with the higher self, which has happened today. Now I don't remember that I am the Supreme or the manifested one. Now, how do I, what reminds me? Where is my reminder in my calendar or the alarm clock? Where it is? Just like we set a reminder for today, in 4 of my gadget, I'm seeing that 5 o'clock it is lecture, and then most of us, we have it. The reminders are in this pain, suffering, problems. So moment I get that, it should remind that, oh, okay, I lost the path. So now I coming back. So these are, I have programmed it that whenever I forget, first I want to forget that I am divine, come down, and then take a limited finite form, then enjoy this. Just like Krishna did. That is a Leela. We call it as a Leela. Actually, in those words, or even in Puranas, it is called Leela. Leela is something like you enjoy, just like a drama or a movie, where I know that it is not real, but it's an act that is acting that is done. The person tries to become that and try to perform. The best actor is somebody who forgets himself completely and then he becomes one. Maybe he may be a robber, or he may be a bad person, a villain, or a hero, or somebody is standing in the last line in the choreo, in the dance, that just moving the hands. His task is only that. So he is doing the best. But the moment that is done, the act is done, immediately he goes back to his original form. Then he will not say that, no, I was a chief minister on the stage, I remain chief minister. No, that will never happen. What is it? So now I try to, when I say the Supreme, then it manifests, then it forgets. At the mind, human mind and below, it forgets. If you don't forget, you will not enjoy this. The moment you know that this is all divine, the joy of this forgetting is lost. Just like we forget that we have kept something, a key or something, we forget. Where did I keep? Then I think that I lost it. You keep searching. When you search, then you will find it at last. Then you find that you got, then you get a joy that, okay, I got it back. Did you actually lose it? No, you forgot where it was kept. Now you get a joy that you are getting it back. So to get this, these are the reminders. Why? Respect the pain. The pain is meant for a purpose, even in medical things. If the person is not able to appreciate pain, like that happens in the last stage of diabetes, there is a neuropathy, nerve is not able to sense. If there is no pain sensation, as a doctor, I'm worried. Because there is no pain, then that person will not be able to appreciate if it is hurt, if there is a wound, or if it is getting infected, or if it is bleeding, no sensation at all. He is around, so he is lying. Oh, no pain. Is it good? It's worrying for me as a doctor. Even physically, if I don't perceive pain, it's a problem. Pain is a protection. In the words of Sri Aurobindo, and he says, pain is the hammer of the nature to beat the dead resistance in the mortal hearts. There is a resistance within me. There is a dead resistance. I'm so happy here with all the pains and then pleasures, my small pleasures and a lot of pain. I'm so happy and I'm resisting it. I know that I should go there, but I don't want to. So now he takes that hammer, the who, the nature or the divine, then tries to beat So now there is a crack. It comes out, and then I realize that, okay, now I know why this pain is. If not, you cannot explain why a good person will undergo pain or suffering. It's impossible to explain. A bad person gets pain, he suffers, we are so happy. We say that he was a very bad, he deserves it. But when you see a good person, why is he all the problems are with him? Why? Because being good is not everything. Being good doesn't mean that it's the end. Being good is something outside. That job is done. Now you see, that person has set the alarm. Now I have to go back. The alarm is ringing now. In terms of a problem, in terms of a pain, in terms of a suffering. Now it goes back. So this is the education we have to bring. A failure, not the success which is going to educate. That doesn't mean that I should always go for failures. I should always look for pain. No. You strive for the balance between these two. Whenever you get a joy, enjoy that. That is a ananda, that's a reflection of Sachidananda. Whenever there is a pain, then you see that, oh, this is a call from me to not to get carried away here. So this is the balance I have to keep on looking for. This is where we are heading in this. This becomes that mother is trying to manifest within me. That is the rhythm, the consciousness that is trying to manifest within me. So in that way, the mother is consciousness and conscious living. This she has proven very beautifully even in the physical world. Conscious living with the nature, like she sees how she sees a flower. Not just the color, not just the texture. She is able to see that consciousness and even articulate that the quality in terms in very, it's among the language most limited vocabulary and limited language is English. It was meant for actually only transaction. In that language, she is able to articulate the consciousness of the flower and then bring it here, or a vegetable or a food. I will try to bring it. So, and then she is able to document that this flower actually represents this. When I look at that flower, do I get a feel of it? Or is it required that it should be the same feel? Not necessarily. But if you take in terms of what mother was trying to see, if I go back to that consciousness of mother, I look at the flower. You can try this. Morning, when there is not much mental disturbances, sit with the flower, and there are many people doing it. Just be with the flower consciousness. It gives a message. The message flows into you. It is not in these words, but I understand in the word, the language which I know. If I am a Kannadiga, I get that in Kannada. If I'm good in English, it translates into English. So whether the flower knows everything, all the languages, not required. Many times the language what we speak, there is more misunderstanding than understanding. The hardly people understand each other's language. That's the reason every time we speak, then we continue. I tell a sentence, then I say, what I mean, that means what I came out. It's not actually what I mean. Now I'm telling what I mean. What is the need? That is because the purpose with which I'm talking, the words is not expressing that. Then I should explain what I mean. So what I mean is what? From where? From the back, that's coming out. So that is the level of consciousness in the work is the most important aspect. Mother is consciousness. The consciousness is the most important aspect. It's not what I'm doing. It is how am I doing. I'm getting in that, I'm educating myself to that level of consciousness and then try to lift. This is lifting that conscious level to the higher and higher is what we are calling it as evolution. The involution has completed. Now we are in a state where from the matter is a vital force, the prana, then the mental body has come up. Now we are heading towards the supermind and then further higher. When I know that this is the evolutionary change that I'm one of the part of it, then it becomes so clear to me that where I'm heading to. At the same time, I should also do this activity because it is my will, my sankalpa to actually do this. I cannot stop this, and it's cyclical. What happens if now all those things goes high? Then again it starts. Not necessarily start is not the word. So it goes on cyclical. So this is what in the eastern part of the world, especially Bharata, this has been so beautifully explained, without any ambiguity, documented, and then they led this life. The same thing in the West, there is specialization in the outer world, technology, and then the beauty, and then making it more luxurious. You see the specialization going higher and higher. In the West, it is about the outer, and then the material world, it has gone to the highest. Whereas East, the inner, what we call the spiritual, it is going higher. The mother says, now the nature will try to mix these two, which has happened during or after 1950s. Now you see the East is going to the West, and then they are trying to give what they want. It may be yoga, or it may be Veda, or it may be spirituality. West coming here, add more comfort, more luxury, more beauty to the world outside. So now the nature will select what is best among these two and try to bring a beautiful world outside. If you try to divide that is external world, they are not bothered, they cannot understand spirituality, and throw them out, and they say that these people are poor, they are not bothered about, so they are lazy, they just keep on in the name of meditation and God, they don't work. So then it is a totally a fall. There's evolution is not happening. To continue that, the East and West have come today together, and then there will be a merger. Now, if you see all our attire, the Western, just like in the practical life, the moment I go back, then there's the East. East is Purva. Purva is what is already there, or Purva in terms of in the Purnatva, or what is in the higher. Then Paschima, the later is, if you say Purva and then Paschima, that is, it is a manifestation that is going on. The other two directions also, there is Uttara, that is the north, where Ut is always going higher. For us, it is Himalayas. It's going Uttara. Even these directions are symbolically the same. And then Dakshina is going down toward the other side of it, from the higher to the other side. Moment I start going there, I should have the Dakshina, that is a discriminatory power. What to be done or what not to be done. So geographically, we are in the Purva, and then we are in the Dakshina. You see how beautifully we are. So now that's why we tend to go all our trip, we'll be going towards Himalayas or the hill stations. We feel that going to hill station is to enjoy the chill weather or something mist. No, the moment you go physically higher, then even spiritually, I can experience that it's going higher and higher. And if you see most of the hill, there will be a small temple there. Is it for a shelter only? Maybe, including that. But you go there and see what happens. The level of consciousness even physically go higher, or whenever sitting, even one step above, then it becomes, you are more nearer to this. Then you can sense that what it is happening. To that extent, the level of consciousness, the work becomes most important. Education will actually build it higher. So now what is actually Mother we saw it is giving. What it is giving? It is ready to give life itself. Mother is ready to give. Sri Aurobindo is ready to give the life itself for the better of the world. Can I imagine that? Can I do that even for my family? Forget about the country or the humanity. Can I do it for my own family? No. Why? Because I feel that I can take care of others. Then it becomes a different entity. But this is the mother I should build within me. That is, I am ready to give up everything for the sake of everything. So that is the mother. Now we are coming towards the end where we see what is the aim of the life of the mother. When I say the mother, what should be aim of ourselves? That is to give form to Sri Aurobindo's great teachings. This one line is giving form. Form is the formation or bringing it in a concrete way and then manifest of Sri Aurobindo's teachings. Sri Aurobindo is the source. It is representing the source, and that has been completely given. Now what mother is trying to do is giving the form. So when I say I am mother, then what should be my aim is to give form to this. First is I form that. I become that. Then this is just like a formula, a formulation, or a format, or an application form. or form is a rupa for the idol. These are all the same things. Now I become the form, and then I form that, so that this entire becomes a formation of that what Sri Aurobindo's teachings are. Am I ready to become that? That is possible if today I'm able to get that darshana, take one of it, take my consciousness to that level, and then bring that in the form the way it is required. All that I have to do is take out this human faculty of the mind, the vital body, and the physical body limitation. Immediately it flows. It flows and it forms. This is one of the aspects of Saraswati, the goddess of inspiration. Saras is the movement. From higher, she is the inspiration that comes and it goes on. So with that, what we come, I should know the aim is to give that form is first I understand what is the form of myself, and then try to become the formation here. Then what happens? We started with this mother and us, and then mother within us. Then we end up with the mother. So we become one with that. That should be the aim. So mother and us, mother within us, it is the mother. This is where our whole life should be. Then it becomes most meaningful, and then we are taking to that Ananda of Sachidananda. Then we'll be able to realize when we utter the words Anandamayi, Chaitanyamayi, Satyamayi, Parame, takes completely to me to that supreme, and then bring it down back as an integral yoga. So with that, I give a pause. If there are any questions or if you want to express, first is Darshan Day. I know that we are all divine. So this is an occasion where we come together in that consciousness and then experience Mother. And I completely thank Mother for whatever that has come down. There may be some mistakes because it is flowing through this human mind, vital body and the physical body. All those are mistakes of this self. I am very happy if you can make out or find out that mistakes and tell me. I'll be very happy to correct myself. Thank you. Namaste.
Dr. Nagendra Ji has given a down to, sorry. Dr. Nagendra Ji has given us a down-to-earth practical talk on the mother within us, how to practice spirituality in day-to-day life, the importance of consciousness. Pain is the high road to beatitude and other different facets. Thank you very much, Dr. Nagendra Ji. Well, the immortal work of the dual avatar, Sri Aurobindo and the mother, is summarized here beautifully by the mother, her reminiscences on her 90th birthday. I came to India to meet Sri Aurobindo. I remained in India to live with Sri Aurobindo. When he left his body, I continued to live here in order to do his work, which is by serving the truth and enlightening mankind, to hasten the rule of the divine's love upon earth. Also by Sri Aurobindo in Savitri, page number 692. My soul and his indissolubly linked in the one task for which our lives were born, to raise the world to God in deathless light, to bring God down to the world. On earth we came to change the earthly life to life divine. Thank you very much. We close this session with 1 minute silence.